welcome to With Veronica. I'm your host, Spoon, and this is my co-host, Veronica.
Be sure to check out our other episodes for more reviews.
Last episode, we caught up on all the Marvel movies leading up to Avengers Endgame. Now here we are with our official review of Endgame for you guys.
Endgame is the longest MCU movie to date, at just over 3 hours long.
Okay, so the trailer showed us a few things. We're back with the original Avengers, with the help of a few others, namely Rocket and Nebula.
We're going to avoid spoiling the big things, but we are going to touch on a few key points before we give our overall feelings on the film.
Endgame is a huge event. It's wrapping up over 10 years of storylines. These are the characters we've watched grow this whole time, and now, as the title suggests, this is kind of an ending in a way.
We already know Disney is intending to continue the MCU, as they have already announced a few films and we have open slots registered for the next few years.
Marvel Studios has only had a few missteps in over 10 years, and that's really impressive.
Okay, so now let's talk about the movie. They jump right in, even before the title card, so make sure you're in your seats early.
The snap drastically changed the world, and 5 years later, everyone is still coming to terms with it.
5 years is a long time. The team is still together, but they each have their own thing going on. Each of them are dealing with their losses in their own way.
Character growth is a big thing. I rewatched a couple of the movies before Endgame, and to see how far these amazing characters have come, and it's just awesome.
We're going to give you information on each of the characters without revealing too much.
Steve has a support group now for people dealing with the snap. He's trying to come to grips with what this all means. The Avengers lost, but maybe some good is coming from it.
There's a line about whales coming back to the Hudson.
Nat is still soldiering on. She's probably the most dedicated to the cause.
Captain Marvel, Rocket, Rhodey, Okoye and Nebula are elsewhere, but they conference in with the rest of the team.
Tony has settled in with Pepper and started a family. He's moved on as best as he can.
Scott Lang comes back from the quantum realm. He has catching up to do as he's been stuck there for 5 years.
Cassie is grown up now.
Banner has learned to harness the Hulk. In the past, he has always been angry, but now he can take the Hulk's form but retain his intelligence.
Thor is the big one. He and Valkyrie formed a town called New Asgard. I think Thor has it the worst of all of them.
He should have gone for the head.
Right. He's got incredible guilt and there's big changes. I will say the first half an hour of the movie is pretty weirdly paced. It's not as jarring as some might think it is, but it felt a little off.
One thing is for sure, that we were both very invested in the future of these characters. It was very emotional at times.
We've been with these guys for 10 years. That's longer than some of my friendships.
Longer than you've known me for sure.
Once Scott catches up with the team, the ball gets rolling. What's amazing is 90% of what we've seen in the trailers was from the first 20 to 30 minutes.
Now we're just going to talk about a few more things, and then we're going to get to our overall opinion. We want you to go out and see it for yourselves. There are plenty of other channels out there which will give you every detail.
What I thought was really cool was there was a few scenes which harken back to classic moments in the MCU.
Endgame focuses very heavily on the core Avengers from the original movie. It works, as we think if they had tried to split into other stories, it would have watered things down, and there was already so much to do.
There's lots of science involved, but I think it was explained pretty well and in terms that didn't take away from the drama.
There's some funny moments, but it wasn't enough to distract from the story and the tension. Spoon even liked the humor with Thor.
Shocking, right?
We liked Endgame. It was a fitting cap to the last decade.
It had some amazing scenes. My only complaint is that the transitions and connecting scenes seemed pretty weak at points.
It was an ambitious movie with a lot of weight to bear, but overall it came out as a fun movie. Not a masterpiece, but fun.
The last point I want to touch on is this movie is more than any of the MCU movies. It's not a great standalone flick. You need the other stories to make it work.
We gave Avengers Endgame 3.5 stars. It was a fun movie.
The exciting thing for me is seeing what movies are announced in the coming months, though I think they might wait till after Spider-Man.
Spider-Man Far From Home looks really fun, doesn't it?
It does.
What do we have planned next, Spoon?
We have a few things we're working on. We're going to do an episode on my favorite monster, King Kong.
I know you wanted to do an episode for John Wick.
Right, we're going to review the 2 previous movies and the 3rd movie, which is due out May 17th.
We'd also like to hear from you guys to see what you would like us to cover next.
That's it for our show. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe.
Leave us lots of comments, guys!